need to... I need to mute it next time. Yeah, I'm back with some more Danganronpa. In all likelihood, I'm just gonna do the investigation for this chapter today. And then probably do the class trial on Thursday? Probably? We'll see how it goes. If it's like really short, I might just keep going with the class trial. Yeah, last time Sakura got murdered in a room that was seemingly locked from the inside by a chair. And now we have to investigate.
However...
But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? Hmm? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly they would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. But you know, poison. It's very likely to be poison because, well, see, yesterday, someone mentioned very conspicuously that there is some poison left in the open in the chem lab we just opened up. So there's a Chekhov's gun for you there. But also, she was killed in a locked room, alone, and the monocular file says that she, like, vomited blood a few hours ago. Which really sounds like poison, to be honest. I have to say. But we'll see.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. Go away. He is not even trying to hide how much he despises me. I better go before he crushes my soul completely. Oh, it's too late for that, Makoto. It's too late.
What the heck?
We already know who did it. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. So we don't know who did it. In other words, they couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Now let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asks all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me... She said she had left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon? The monocle fly said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I stopped her, maybe by force even, this never would have happened. Look, you couldn't have stopped her by force. I feel like that's pretty much impossible for anyone in the school here. Hina, it's impossible not to have regrets, I know. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet her, and she asked them to come to their actor at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying, it might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. Yeah.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There is something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Very interesting. Then it's true. I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you're doing it, was he, huh? Of course not. I need to note it to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Have you? Byakuya says that he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Yeah, okay, thanks. That was very helpful, Byakuya. You are so helpful as ever. Sakura drew her last breath, sitting slumped forward in his chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that that's what killed her. But according to the Monochrome file, she had also vomited blood? It's poison. They poisoned her. Duh. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monochrome file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? No, it didn't. No chance. Byakuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? Do we agree? Because I'm not sure if I agree. But no, I don't think I call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. Yeah, well, duh. This looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
That's... That, you recognize Sakina?
Well...
Yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Cool. Sakura got super upset when she found that Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura? I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I didn't like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much.
I mean...
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to herself. Give it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavor. You know. Actually, it is sad. I shouldn't fake irony. It's probably a bad plan. Yeah. Pretty much all the deaths so far have been fairly sad, to be honest. And yeah. Okay, let's check the thing there. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? This must have originally been a bottle. There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure? It's interesting. So we can also check out... Oh yeah, it's one of those bottles. Okay, gotcha. We check out the pool of blood there, which is where the vomit is. That same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. Okay, nothing interesting there. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is, how did they get all those figures inside the bottle? Probably make the bottle around. Maybe, like they do that with, you know, other stuff too. Or when it comes to, like, you know how some people have model ships inside, and I think they just fold it up, and then somehow, like mechanically, like, open it up once it's inside. Same thing over here, just like have it be inflatable. And inflate it once it's inside? Something like that? Yeah, so there's a pawn, rook. a bishop, and what was the other one? I know the knight is the one on the ground. It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? See? She knows. You know, when a bottle's opening is smaller than the board based inside. You've never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have.
In other words.
So this is the Monokuma version of that. Monokuma bottle, if you will. Is that the king or the... I think that's the queen. So which... that means... obviously the knight is on the floor. And there should still be... a king around somewhere? Which I would assume is in the headmaster's office with Monokuma. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of the things, little by little. The Monokuma bottle is sitting on a shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass which probably started as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. Well, unless you count the poison, then yes, that was one of the weapons. Huh? The locker is open, and there's down the inside. It's a handprint?
Why?
What is a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and he left a handprint in the old dust.
It's true.
It looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe they feel hidden here until the locker room was opened. Locked room was opened, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and enjoyed the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Oh, why not?
Hey.
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
Indeed.
Interesting. Interesting. There's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then, what does this happening mean? That is a very good question, which I have no answer for. Yet. That's the way to pull up blood. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But it doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? She could walk while she's vomiting, you know? Like, people walk after they vomit stuff. There is a chair, for some reason. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. Oh, right. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think that the chair had anything special done to it. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
So...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned it more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that too hard if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. It reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. She must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
Just a second.
Oh, that's strange. What is it?
Hey.
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it. Why does it matter? Because that means... it got there later? Obviously.
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but they're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll be an important clue later on. Important clue? Not sure I see how. It means that whoever had that can on down came in later and dropped it on the floor. Also, since Sakura lost protein, they could have just like switched the bottle contents with like poison. Give it to her. She drinks it and then dead. Well, a few hours pass and then she's dead. I think I've looked at everything in here. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mounting have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the door from turning and the door from opening, and there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created a lot of room from the inside, not from the outside. But what if it wasn't the killer, but it was Sakura instead for some reason?
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so. For the most part.
So
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
listen to me.
Which is why I decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's got a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right. I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wants to meet with two other people. I need to hear what they have to say. So I can't exit by pressing going to the door. I have to press B. Because that makes sense. Those other two probably went back to their rooms. Gotcha. So I need to talk to Toko, I think, and Hiro. And also someone's outside. Cool. Now, I think Toko's room is at the end. Actually, I think both of them were. I bet this is Hiro's room. And where's Toko's room? Ah, here we go. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds.
Who's there?
Oh. We have voice acting now. Ah, the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood. Or maybe a relatively good mood. Like, compared to normal mood, which is just being an asshole to everyone.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slid out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. What?
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? Oh, I just said two, didn't I? Yes, you did. I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yep, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note. But I didn't go to see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go to see her, but can't really believe her. Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as facts. Maybe she hasn't gone. Maybe her alter ego did. Just a little bit of exact words implied there. Is that good enough? I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Cool. So, let's check Hiro's room as well, which is here. I pressed the doorbell. After a few seconds.
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. How do you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? Yes. Well, I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Olga told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that? Well... When she asked me to meet with her, of course. But... didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She, fucked the light. No, she didn't fuck the light, fuck my light.
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. Yes, it is. So then, you went and met with Sakura?
You got it all wrong!
No way, I thought I didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah. Definitely suspicious.
Actually...
The last time I saw Olga was when Hina got hurt and took her to nurse's office.
Don't look at me!
I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on!
Sorry. Looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. While he did, I saw something fall to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pockets. Huh? Dun dun dun! That is the same wrapper that was it next to the Sakura. Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pockets.
Hey, come on!
Sorry, just a bit of trash I thought to throw out. Trash? Anyway, I can't deny that Olga asked me to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Okay, so one of the guys in my apartment just got really drunk tonight for some reason. So, just being an ass. Kind of an ass. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should go find more about the protein crime we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it was a couple of chem lab. Yes, the chem lab. It's a good idea. Let's go there. Now, I do wonder, because normally I would just pass this off as Hiro being stupid and getting himself into trouble. But since the last investigation, everyone has told him that he is stupid. So maybe he has like finally embraced it and just trying to like cover behind that as an excuse. What is it? See someone? No. So maybe Hiro did it, and he's just trying to pretend he's an idiot. I mean, he is, but you know what I mean. Sorry, my eye hurts a bit. Oh. So, I think the camera was here somewhere. That's the office. That is data lab, which is locked. Is it over here? So yeah, it is here. Makoto, did you have your eye on the camera too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes sir, I understand. Sure, let's go with that. That right there is a very suspicious stain on the floor, which I constantly look at. This isn't my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should really take a closer look at it. It looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more importantly right now, what's the powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? But it's powder, it looks like liquid. I have to be careful not to step in it. You know the giant skull in the ball isn't suspicious at all, it's like, just normal. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where the powder came from? Looks like the bottle had a label on it. Cam C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning, checking things out. At that point, this room wasn't like this. And this powder must have been spilled.
So in other words...
That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that really is the case, if that really is when it happened, it must be related to the case somehow. That is poison though, Makoto, you do realize that. Who am I kidding? He doesn't realize anything. He's just blind. You know he's not blind, he sees everything, he hears everything, he has all the clues, but he cannot make right mental connections in his mind, he cannot infer stuff for some reason. Which means that it's always down to someone else to make the connections, like Kyoko or Byakuya or whoever. These are footprints? And they're only in front of the left shelf? How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
What?
Well, let's go. Chop chop. Okay. So I got to work, and before long I don't have to sketch out the room. So, how's this? I like how Makoto has drawn this in Photoshop. You know how you can set the pen's opacity to like 50, which makes it grey. And that's kind of cool and easy to do, and then you have to set a grey color. But what happens is when you draw something else, you know, again, you have over the same line twice. You got a darker spot in there, which looks very weird. And that's exactly what it's on screen right now. Like you see the bottle where the T's connect. It's like, yeah. Makoto took out his Wacom tablet, plugged into the laptop, opened a Photoshop, and drew a little map. That's what happens. Not bad, for you I mean. For me?
I see.
So, when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had a business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to the shelf, did whatever they had to do, and then left. Then that's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints trust me.
It's certainly possible.
Go to. What are yours? No.
What?
Okay, then let me see your shoes, and I confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Unfortunately. But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. Then these prints are a really valuable clue. I don't think so, actually. You see on the shaft on the rightmost side, you have 2 balls of poison and one is broken on the ground. So the poison is from shaft C. So whoever had the job at shaft A, that was Sakura probably, because she was getting the protein shakes out. I'll show you that. Let's see, what's on this shaft? All kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shaft. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with letter A and a number. Except the C9 on the picture, but it doesn't matter. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving in section A. Huh? Oh wait. There's one bottle here that's labeled Cam C9. Never mind. Yeah, I actually don't notice this. Did someone have put it in here on accident? I mean, it's possible. So on this shelf it looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They are reagents. Put simply, they're using experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. So a catalyst of sorts? How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kinda harsh?
What?
What? You think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world?
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter B and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving as being section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. On this shelf is one look, and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with another C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving in section C. I should try to find out more about this shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. What concerns me is that in Section A, there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C to use in Section A? There is definitely something going on there. And I only have to look at this, I think. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. I'd better not leave a footprint. I should probably take a good and hard look at the powder. Just don't inhale, please. You wanna die as well. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. There's also remains of a broken bottle. Looks like the bottle was labeled Camp C4. Also, it looks like someone has some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left side of the shelf. Yep. According to Byakuya, the powder would have had to have been spilled right around that time of an incident. That's all I can tell for now. Interesting. I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe I should take a look around the rec room. Okay. Let's go to the rec room. I'm getting fairly good at these movement controls. They are still shit, but at least I can move around now fairly well.
Hey.
So Makoto, how's your investigation going? I thought Kyoko and Heroes had told me.
I see.
I see. So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. Well, it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway,
Well, I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the monocle bottles. These three things have revealed new clues. You do well to look it over one more time. She did look at the magazines previously. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back there by accident? Oh my god.
hey,
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is, on one of the pages near the center of the magazine, a word had been written in bold, bloody letters. It said, Toku. Could this be a dying message?
correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Who is this?
So,
It is indeed the dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message.
however,
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come up looking. I should slow down. Hey, is that says Toku, right? Yeah, it sure looks like it. Then she's the killer, right? Not necessarily. It could be the killer trying to deceive us. Like, I'm gonna write a dry message in the magazine. And then, you know, push the blame to someone else. Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. It's settled. She's the killer for sure. It's close evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. Now, the bottles themselves. I think Kyoko said that she'd found a new clue involving the monocle bottles. Something new.
hey,
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. It's just figures, or whatever you call them. A correlation. Hey Kyoko, can you just tell me what it is?
so,
I don't mind guiding you towards clues, but like, giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions, but everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer. I do trust you to a degree, otherwise I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree? It's not like you've earned much more than that, Makoto. Monocle bottle has been updated in the truth section of your handbook. Gotcha.
hey,
Actually, there's one other thing about the monocle bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? Experiment.
anyway,
Can you get up all the pieces of the broken monocle bottle? Try to get up the smaller pieces too. Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
that doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. Roshan's vehicle is not here, so...
So then,
Anyway, I need something from the cam lab, so while I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is about, but what choice do I have? I better just do it. I took the broom and the dustpan and I got to work, collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up, so to keep you waiting,
so then,
is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So, what kind of experiments are we doing?
in other words,
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Better weights of us. The pieces of glass you collected and one of the monocle bottles are still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done here.
listen,
Well, If both bottles weigh the same, that must mean that the body is dark, and there is a glitch. First, let's compare the weight of two of the normal monochrome bottles. It's balanced.
In other words,
Which means each monochrome bottle which weighs about the same. I guess the figures are also made to weigh the same. Which makes sense. The monochrome figures is set up basically the same, and nothing else can really affect the weight.
so then,
Now, here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you beat up on the one side of the scale. Now, what might you expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they balance out or the pieces are collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
so then,
Okay then, let's give it a try. And that is because, like I said, we are still missing a king. So someone must have smashed two bottles here, and then took the king figure and left the knight. I don't know what that means yet. Well, cool. The broken pieces are heavier? How is it possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought. What?
In other words,
The results of the experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles put it all together.
hey,
And I believe you will arrive at a very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you. Have you seen chess before, Marco, too? Just like ever. And what else? What else? What else? Is it that?
so,
It looks like a free treat.
hey. Correct. So,
So you always see that. What else? Is it just her body? What's that? According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered for Sakura's body.
just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but
Hey,
don't you think you might need to actually examine the body? Jesus. Fucking. I'm just gonna mute this, sorry. Good. Sorry about that.
whew.
There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although, there are still sometimes. I can't believe how cool you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's, totally normal. Then how can you...
So,
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. Wait, what? Sorry, never mind.
hey,
More importantly, look here. Her shoes.
correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep. Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1.
Hey,
Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully.
it's true.
It should even tell you that. It's incredibly difficult to spot. So let me just explain.
It would seem.
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows? 2 blows? 2 bottles. One figure left.
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
That's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Cool. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone like Kyoko could have pulled it off. It's been 44 minutes, so there's not much worth talking to in the class trial, so might as well just do it. But there is a lot of talking, but there's a lot of actual reading I have to do, which is an important part for me.
You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake.
Okay.
Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right?
Sure.
Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time. But the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen in the class trial. No. Not whatever happens, I have to make something happen. Oh no. Oh no. Monaco made his announcement and everyone began to meet up, one after another. And then... the ultimate martial artist! A look to a murder mystery! Wink emoji.
What?
What the... Oh, I just recently discovered the power of emoticons. Like, no matter how awful something is, if you tell someone a smiley face, it turns positive.
Yes, indeed.
For example, you're at a picnic and you find a dead body. XD. This is just plain creepy.
Well,
And how about the reverse? No matter how great something is, if you put it in a sad face, it makes it look super negative.
yes, indeed.
For example, T found its friends. T_T. Has a crying face? He's right, that does make it seem sad.
I can't wait.
Now
I
then.
can't wait.
Please come to the elevator. O_O. I see you all down there. I guess that's what that is. What the hell was that? I don't get it.
Just the
I don't get you guys. How you are so casual after murdering someone?
Don't look at
I
me!
don't think I'm actually casual.
Don't be
I mean, I didn't murder anyone.
What the heck?
Yeah, completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer?
What the heck?
I mean, she is a murderer. Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit. The killer. The one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know. And yet someone killed her. And the person is here. The person is one of us. Come on, it's time to put an end to this. I made my way towards the elevator. With each step I took, I felt like I was going further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. But no matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our still prison in total silence. We watched the doors close, and fighting begins its sinister descent. The group is getting very small by now. The elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and as suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again. Just the six of you, huh? Really? That's so few. You must be so lonely. You say that like it's not your fault we're all that's left. I wonder, will the class end with one last classmate again, or will your school life come to an end completely?
Now then.
Man, why did it begin? You know the drill. Find your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened for the fourth time. A deadly judgment. A deadly deception. A deadly betrayal. Deadly betrayal. The usual. Yes, let's save. And let's see. How many skill points do I have? Increase the focus gauge by 2. What's in thought? Increases the time limit for each phase, effectively in class channel. I think that's fine. I still have those, which is good. Let's get this one, because I don't really need more time. I have like 5 minutes on each section, so it should be enough. Or getting more slowdown time is good.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, where to begin?
We already know who did it.
Whoa, deja vu.
The one who killed Sakura is one of the people that hated her. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It was one of you.
Idiot.
I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah! I'd never kill someone, no way!
I don't want to hear your stupid excuses.
Hina seems really sure that one of those three is the killer. Well, she must have some reason for believing that, because she is the killer. I mean, I hope not, but... Okay, let's see what these are. Toku Aoi. Sakura written notes to Toko Byakuya Yashino, asking him to meet her in the rack room I knew. Yeah, watch it. Byakuya said he received Sakura's note, but also claimed that he never went to see her. He hadn't seen her all that day. Okay. And Toku. Yeah, so they neither of them went to see her. She said.
One of you. One of you killed Sakura.
And what reason do you have for saying so?
Because you all had a motive. You hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have for accusing us?
That's low. That's about as low as you can get.
Actually, no. Because let's just scroll down.
One of you killed Sakura.
And what reason?
Because you hated her.
Is that it?
So
That
this
doesn't
was
make
this
any
was.
sense.
That's the only reason you have for accusing us?
No.
That's
Fuck.
low. That's about as low as you can get.
I pressed the wrong button for too long. Which doesn't help. No, I need to shoot
One
this.
of you.
Oops.
One of you killed Sakura.
And what reason do you have for saying so?
Because you all had a motive. You hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have for accusing us?
Nope.
No, that's wrong. Another reason you suspect them is because Sakura wanted to meet with them, right?
Yeah, and that was right before she died. So there's no doubt about it. One of those three killed her.
I can't disagree with Hina. That's good reason to suspect all three of them. Then does that mean that one of them did it? Could be. Pocket trash.
The fact that Sakura wanted to meet with all three of them, there's no way that's not suspicious. One of you is absolutely guilty.
I don't deny that she wanted to meet with us, but I never went to see her.
I didn't either.
Yeah, same here. I never saw her.
Ah,
No, that's wrong.
it's going bad so far.
Hiro, when we were talking before, you dropped a small piece of paper, remember? It was white with red polka dots.
What's that got to do with anything?
Red polka dots? That's gotta be the wrapper from the candy I gave Sakura.
No, it's...
Ever since we got into the warehouse, I totally monopolized that entire box of candy. So there's no way a single one of them was left in the warehouse.
In that case, Hiro, where did you get that piece of candy?
From Sakura! It's the only explanation.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure I got it from her, but she gave it to me forever ago. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to her.
When? When did she give it to you?
You're very convincing, you know, the hero.
The last time you saw Sakura was when Hina had to go to the nurse's office, right?
Yeah, so I must have got it sometime before then.
Well, what Hiro said can't be right. Because Sakura could only have gotten the candy after the incident in the nurse's office. Please don't know that is... Hiro got... No.
I got it!
Yeah, because Hina gave it to
I'm
him.
not sure about that, Hiro. Hina didn't actually give Sakura the candy till after she left the nurse's office. So if that was the last time you saw her, there's no reason you should have had that candy.
Damn it.
Damn it.
I mean, what I meant was, Oh, that's right! I did meet up with her in the rec room. You got a problem with that?
You are not at all suspicious here.
Why the sudden hostility?
But we just talked, that's all. I didn't do anything, you gotta believe me.
You're acting incredibly suspicious.
You're acting incredibly suspicious.
More hostility.
It's not just normal hostility. You're the real culprit. I even have proof.
Huh? Proof? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about her shining message.
What? What would a shiny message even be?
At the scene of the crime, she had written out Toko in her own blood, right?
How do you know about that?
It was her dying message. Just like you guys were talking about with Sayaka.
That's true. I saw it for myself.
See? See? Toko did it.
You can't know about that.
What are you saying? No way! I didn't do it!
You just don't know when you're beat, do you?
Can I
Hiro,
just...
Hold on. When did you see that dying message of hers?
Yeah?
Huh? Well, when we found Ogre's body. Duh.
But if you recall, Hina was very adamant about keeping you away from the scene of the crime. So it's hard to believe that's when you actually saw the message for yourself.
Wait, hold on. Well, when Kyoko found a magazine with a dying message, it was on the magazine shelf.
I got it! Kyoko, you found the magazine on the magazine shelf, right?
That's right. Looking through the shelf, I found the magazine with the dying message on it. I found it right there at the scene of the crime, after we'd started the investigation.
If that's true, then what Hiro just said doesn't really make sense, does it?
Doesn't make sense? What doesn't make sense? Everything I said makes perfect sense.
You know, there's an obvious problem with what Hiro said before. Yes, there is.
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
And I can tell you when I found the dying message. It was only after the investigation had begun. I found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf. When I pulled it out, I saw her final words.
What's your problem? What I said makes total sense.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to scan something here.
I can tell you exactly when I found the dying message. When Ogre's body was discovered.
Yeah, I have to do that.
And I can tell you when I found the dying message. It was only after the investigation had begun.
Really
I
that.
found the magazine tucked away on the magazine shelf.
When I pulled it
I
out,
guess let's try
What I said
that.
makes total sense.
I'm not sure that we were.
I can
Let's
tell
try.
you exactly when I found the dying when Ogre's body was discovered.
No, it's wrong.
First try.
When Sakura's body was found, That magazine was sitting on the shelf nearby. That's where Kyoko found it, after we'd begun the investigation. And you weren't at the murder scene, so there's no way you could have seen it then. Tell us the truth, Hiro. When did you see the message?
Hold on! You're focusing on the wrong part! Why does it matter when I saw it? All you gotta do is read the Vienna sausage Ogre left us, and we know who the killer is! Toko!
You are terrible at misdirection here.
I don't even know where to begin with this.
He's just trying to confuse us.
Actually, can we even be sure Sakura wrote that message in the first place?
Yeah? I think we can all agree Ogre wrote that message. 100%, without a doubt, she wrote it! And this is me talking, so you know it's true!
I don't trust a single word you say normally. You know that? No, I absolutely know that is. There's no way Sakura wrote a message. The word of truth. Oh no.
Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. The end is nigh. Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap. Show me the proof. I'm at least 30% right. The occult is bullcrap.
I have this thing.
Can't hear you. Conspiracy. The end is nigh.
Haha.
Show me the proof.
This should prove it. I'm completely unconvinced that Sakura wrote that dying message. Because if you look at it, the message was almost certainly written using a finger. But both of her hands were completely free of blood.
What?
Then, who did write it?
Hiro could very well have written it himself. That would explain how he knew about the message in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Ah! He admits it!
I figured as much.
But why would you write something like that?
Because I killed her!
That was fast. You're admitting to killing her.
Please, just let me explain what happened. I got Ogre's note, and so I headed to the rec room right before noon, just like it said.
You just did exactly as the note asked? What a fool.
This is confusing.
And when I got there...
Sorry, but do you mind waiting? I asked a couple of other people to meet as well. Okay. Would you like a piece of candy? It might have give you some energy. Oh sure, thanks.
And that's all she said. After that, we just stood around in awkward silence. Suddenly, I heard her mutter something.
This is it. I'm going to end it today. I'm going to end everything.
As soon as I heard that, I just knew. I knew she was gonna try and kill me.
You're such an idiot, Hiro.
She was gonna kill me and make her escape. So of course I freaked out, and then... I saw my only chance. I grabbed the Monokuma bottle from the shelf and smashed it across her head. I hit her from behind before she had any idea what was happening. Then she just went limp. I didn't see her move again after that. Once it was over, I pulled myself together. I realized if I didn't do something, I'd be caught.
Holy shit.
So I wrote Toko's name in blood across a magazine on the table and I ran away.
But you were the one who poisoned her.
I can't believe you!
Okay.
You're the worst! Die!
Alright.
Well, that's what happened. Go ahead. Roast me, boil me, do whatever you want.
You're not gonna get off that easy. It's death. Death for the one that killed Sakura. We're ready to vote now, right? We know who did
No,
it.
no, 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 no.
No, I think there's more to Hiro's story.
What are you talking about? What else could there be?
There's one thing that Hiro's story just now doesn't explain. And until we figure that part out, we can't consider the case closed.
So what is the hero did that doesn't make sense? Why the big turtle? Why the magazine was hidden?
I got it! That's true. Everything you just said. It doesn't explain why the magazine was hidden, does it?
Okay.
By the time the body was discovered, the magazine had been picked up and put on the shelf. Why would you take the time to write that message, then stick it somewhere we might not find it?
Oh, well, I didn't hide it. I'm sure I just left it sitting there on the table.
Really?
He's lying! He's gotta be lying!
No.
I don't see any reason he would lie now, after already confessing to the crime.
Then he's not lying?
Assuming he's telling the truth, someone else must have put the magazine back on the shelf.
The person who had their poisoning.
In other words, at least one other person was in the rec room both before and after the incident.
I don't think there's any question about that.
But then, who was it?
If they went to the trouble of hiding the magazine, they must not have liked what was written on it.
Someone would like what happened to be written. There's only one choice. It's Toko.
I got it! It had to be Toko, right?
That would make sense. So.
Who else would want to hide the magazine other than the person whose name was written on it?
Was he right, Toko? Did you really go to the rec room?
Why would I have... Wait! But more important, that doesn't even matter! We already know who did it, right? Hiro just admitted it!
That's right. I killed her.
No, you didn't.
Who asked you?
I don't doubt Hiro attacked Sakura with the bottle. But that's not where this case ends.
What do you mean?
What he means is that Hiro isn't the killer.
You can't be serious! That's just... I don't believe it!
Hiro, tell us what happened one more time. If we go through it once more, it should become clear he's not Sakura's killer.
Yeah, he didn't love the room.
So, what do you want me to do?
Just tell us what happened one more time when you attacked Sakura.
I don't really see why, but okay.
We haven't reached the end of the case just yet. Hiro isn't the real killer. I have to prove that. I like this music a lot. Which plays like at the beginning of every endless debate. Or non-stop debate, or whatever it's called. Oh my god, that's a lot.
I didn't want to, but I did it. I grabbed a Monokuma bottle from the shelf nearby, and I hit Ogre from behind before she could do anything.
You hit her from behind. And you only hit her once. Is that right?
Yeah, just once. After the first swing, the bottle shattered, and she went limp.
See? The hero really is the killer!
It's Hiro's thing that
I didn't want to, but I
Should
grabbed a
fast enough.
Monokuma and I hit Ogre from behind before she could do anything.
You hit her from behind. And you only hit her once.
Yeah, just once.
No, that's wrong!
there were two wounds in her head.
If Sakura died from Hiro's single blow, that doesn't explain why she had 2 head wounds.
Two?
That's right. She had 2 separate wounds on her head.
And remember, this girl examines dead bodies as a hobby. Personally, I'm inclined to believe her.
I mean, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I only hit her once. How could she have 2 wounds?
2 wounds means she was struck twice. What's more, both attacks must have come from a Monokuma bottle.
There is a king missing after all.
Hold on! How can you know that just from some cuts on her head? She was attacked twice with 2 Monokuma bottles?
It's not just because of her head wounds. It's also because of the Monokuma bottles themselves. There's something very suspicious about those bottles. Once you understand that point, you'll understand why two separate Monokuma bottles must have been used. Think back. After the incident, there were 4 Monokuma bottles left on the shelf, right? And we found pieces of a bottle on the ground, along with the chess piece it had inside.
That was the bottle Hiro hit Sakura with, right?
For now, just note that there were 4 intact bottles and 1 broken bottle.
Yes.
But originally, there were 6 bottles in total, meaning 1 has gone missing.
But how can you know for sure there were 6 bottles?
That's easy. If you look at what the bottles all had in common, it should become clear.
The question between the Monokuma bottles, I feel like it's starting to become clear. The question must be... chess pieces? Yes. Give me a P, give me a P. No, we need an I. I need an I. There we go. Yeah. E. C. And E.
Now I understand.
Wait, the knight was on the ground, we were missing a king.
The chess pieces. Inside each bottle, there was a Monokuma figure holding a different chess piece.
King, rook, bishop, pawn.
That's a king, never mind.
I definitely
didn't see
remember
the pawn,
seeing
right? Yeah.
each of those.
So, we missed a queen then.
And the piece that was inside the broken bottle we found was the knight, if I remember.
Yes, it was.
So, what's that matter?
I guess you don't know too much about chess, do you? Then let me explain. In chess, there are 6 different pieces. The king, the queen, the rook, knight, bishop, and pawn. What was left intact at the crime scene were the king, rook, bishop, and pawn.
Yes.
Just those 4. And on the ground was
Where's
the knight.
Oh, so the queen is missing.
So we only have evidence for 5 bottles at the scene, while 1 apparently went missing.
What does chess have to do with anything?
Yeah, shogi is way better.
Thank you, Hiro, for the input.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's not what I mean. So, let's say a bottle did go missing. There's still no evidence that has anything to do with this case. That bottle could have disappeared any time before the murder.
Sure.
No. It's clear that the missing bottle is connected to this case.
How is it clear?
Think about what state the missing bottle must have been in. Maybe then you'll understand.
Wait, the bottle that was missing.
I got it!
It's broken.
The bottle must have been broken.
And we know that because we had, like, more shards.
You're so sure?
Because there was evidence at the scene that supports it.
Huh?
That's right. We found evidence that shows there was more than just 1 broken bottle
Good job,
at the scene.
Makoto.
And what is this evidence?
It was just a single ball and all, and the evidence that proves this. The experiment. Or is, yeah, experiment.
I got it! Earlier, Kyoko and I did a little experiment. We compared the weight of the broken bottle pieces at the scene to one of the unbroken bottles. And what we found was that the collection of pieces was heavier. And the reason for that is... there was actually more than 1 bottle's worth of shattered glass.
So from this, we can surmise that 2 bottles were actually broken at the scene of the crime. But someone did their best to clean up the pieces of one of the bottles, along with the figure inside. But when they did, they must have left behind a few too many pieces, which is only natural. They certainly had no way to measure the exact right number of pieces to remove.
But why would they have to try and get rid of it like that anyway?
Because of what it would reveal about the case.
Like we know that the second missing monocle bottle is involved in this case. It must have been used by Sakura's second attacker.
I got it! The bottle that was removed from
Wait,
the scene
will the solution be
used the
able to
second
attack
time
her?
Sakura was attacked.
Like it was a situation like everyone just knifes him once. And he's all coming directly and like hit her balls and then someone pulls his head.
The second wound on Sakura's head came from that second bottle. Given all the evidence, this is the only possible conclusion.
The killer wanted to make it look like there was only one attack, so they had to get rid of their evidence.
From there, we can conclude that it wasn't Hiro who delivered that second blow. Wouldn't you agree, Toko? And there's the matter of the magazine. You must have been in the rec room when the incident took place.
Wait! I admit, maybe there was a second attack, but there's no evidence I had anything to do with it.
No way! You killed her! I'm sure of it!
Shut up! Until 2 seconds ago, you were claiming you killed her!
I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. That's just the kind of guy I am.
What is wrong with you? Holy shit.
Plus, I just remembered something that proves it.
Okay, fine. Let's hear it.
It was right after I got Ogre's note. I was kind of nervous about it, so I went to the rec room early. You know, to stake it out or whatever. So I was waiting there, and that's when I saw her. I saw Toko go into the rec room.
You did?
Pretty soon, Ogre showed up, and she went into the rec room. I assumed Toko was still in there, so I figured everything would be okay. That's why I headed in. But when I got inside, Ogre was all
The
alone.
locker.
Toko had disappeared.
And you just now decided to share that with us?
Well, he is an idiot.
After the shock of thinking I'd killed someone, I forgot all about it.
Could someone tighten the screws on his brain? I think they've come loose.
So, Toko, where the heck did you disappear to?
You don't know what you're talking about. I never went in the rec room.
I'm sure she didn't disappear, but maybe she found
Yes,
somewhere
the
to
locker.
hide.
What? Hiding in the rec room? Don't be ridiculous. Why are you all ganging up on me? You're all nothing but vermin.
No, it's not ridiculous at all. There's nothing to prove that shows Toko was hiding in the rec room. A new element has been into bullet tables. Sure, let's see about it. So far, you've probably seen pressing the Y button during your final strike without a second thought. Now, you're gonna have to pay a little extra attention to the finishing blow. You have to choose the proper tooth puller to use during the coup de grace. Gotcha. Oh, by the way, you're about halfway through the game now. Cool you. Well then, good luck and have fun.
It's a lie! I admit nothing. I hate you. I curse you. No, no, no! That's enough! I admit nothing. I curse you. I curse you. It's a lie! That's enough! It's a lie! I admit nothing. I hate you. I curse you. No, no, no! That's enough! I admit nothing. I curse you.
It's kind of overpowered, to be honest.
That's enough!
Not gonna happen.
This should prove it. Did you know someone left a handprint behind on the inside of the locker? They must have been hiding in there and put their hand on the wall without thinking. Does his handprint look familiar, Toko?
No, it doesn't.
Okay then, let's just compare it to your hand, shall we? That'll clear everything up, right?
Stop wasting my time. Just tell us the truth.
Okay, it's my handprint.
Dang, she just straight up admitted it.
Just like you.
Then you killed Sakura!
No, I swear, there's no way!
Out with it.
I probably did kill her.
Straight up again.
You did the same fucking
Wait.
thing.
What do you mean, probably?
Give us the details, Toko. What happened between you and Sakura?
Talk. Now.
After I read Sakura's note, I decided to go there early, so I went into the rec room. I didn't know what she might do if I didn't go, but I was too scared to face her head on. So I figured I'd just sneak in first and hide in the locker.
Mm-hmm.
Then, did you see what happened? Did you see me hit her?
Yes, and I saw you write my name. I saw you forge her dying message.
Well, that's awkward.
So after he left, I jumped out of the locker and put the magazine back on the shelf.
But when you did, you put it back upside down.
I didn't mean to. I was in a hurry.
Imbeciles, all of you.
Forget all that. Why did you attack Sakura?
After I put the magazine back, I heard a sound behind me like a monster growling. And when I turned around...
So yeah, it's gonna be like everybody hits Sakura, but neither of them killed. Huh?
There was Sakura, covered in blood and staring right at me. When I saw that blood, I fainted. Right there in front of the magazines. I don't remember what happened after that. If you want to know more, you'll have to ask her.
Huh? You mean... Oh no.
Guess it's back!
It was your fault after all.
My fault! Master's fault! When our faults combine, they soar to even greater heights!
Just answer the question. Did you kill Sakura?
Well, to be honest, Miss Morose and me don't actually share our memories. So I can't really say what was going on. But I was just minding my own business, sleeping peacefully when someone shook me awake. Was it a prince paying me a visit? I wondered. So I opened my eyes to see...
Yeah, yeah.
Everywhere! I was not prepared for that. And, well, I guess it took me by surprise. I got so startled, I smacked her with the first thing I could find, which I guess was a bottle. Sakura was just worried about you, and you're terrible! No, she's terrible! Thanks to her, I murdered someone who wasn't an adorable boy for the first time ever!
And when it was all over, you collected the pieces of the bottle to get rid of the evidence, didn't you?
I wasn't about to die for some woman! If I'm gonna go down, I want it to be for killing Master!
Just go away and die your meaningless death alone. Don't drag me into it.
But I just can't catch a break, you know? Fate's got it out for me. Because normally, Sakura should have been able to dodge my attack, no problem!
Even as strong as she is, she must have still been reeling from Hiro's attack.
Hey, come on. That's... you know... But anyway, I'm not the one that killed Ogre. So that's good.
So that's good. Keep talking like that, Hina's gonna...
Well then, that's that. Let's start the vote.
Huh? I thought we should have some words for Hiro on that one.
What's wrong? Come on, everyone, we're ready to vote, right? Let's do this.
Nope.
No, not quite yet.
Huh? Not yet? Why not yet?
Don't you think there was something odd about Toko's story? I mean, you had to have noticed.
Odd. Huh?
Hiro's attack, and then Toko's, but that still wasn't the end of it.
It wasn't?
Tell us your story one more time. Tell us what happened after you fainted.
And it's gonna be Hina.
Then even this gaggle of idiots should understand what I'm talking about.
Your wish is my command, darling.
It's over yet, is it? The one with Sakura is Number 4?
I was just sleeping peacefully, and all of a sudden, Sakura was right there in front of me. I remember waking up right in front of the magazine shelf.
And you were taken by surprise when you saw Ogre covered in blood. So you smashed her head in with the Monokuma bottle?
You got it! I smashed her good!
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up! I killed her there in front of the shelf!
No, sure. That's another one. What was
I
one
was
that...
just sleeping peacefully,
So
and all of a sudden, Sakura was right there in front of me. I remember waking up right in front of the magazine shelf.
And you were taken by surprise when you saw Ogre covered in blood.
So you
it's
smashed her
done
head in.
Sakura's body.
And where did the attack take place?
Right where I woke up! I killed her there in front of the shelf!
Yeah, that's it.
No, that's wrong. We found Sakura sitting upright in a chair. If the blow by the shelf was the cause of death, there's no explanation why she was in that chair.
So, you finally noticed.
That's just another lie from a bloodthirsty serial killer.
Are you sure you didn't attack her while she was sitting in the chair?
No, I'm sure she's telling the truth. Anyone who saw the murder scene should think the same way.
It has to be it. Maybe this is a person that was not attacking from the magazine shelf. It's the pool of blood.
I got it! Sakura was definitely attacked in front of the shelf.
Yeah.
The blood stain by the magazines is proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then she must have moved the body after she killed her, right? All to make it look like I did it. Because when I hit her, she was sitting in the chair.
Hey, come on now, look at me! I can't carry anything heavier than my own scissors! There's no way I could move a muscle-bound heavyweight like that!
Then what's the deal?
Well, are you still convinced the case has come to an end?
But...
Plus, the biggest mystery of all, the locked room, still has yet to be explained. Until we take care of that, we can't say this case has been properly settled.
Oh, that part's easy. After she killed Sakura, Toko just hid in the locker again.
No, but
So she just hid in there? Till everyone showed up and
we
opened
already
the
established that
door?
the locker was closed when it was open when we came in.
And while everything was all confused and hectic, she just snuck out of the locker into the group.
No, I don't think that's possible.
The reason there's no way Toko was hiding in this locker is because I saw it for myself.
I got it! Even before we opened the door to the rec room, Hina and I both got a look inside. And at that point, the locker was already open. So obviously Toko couldn't have been hiding in there.
Okay then, where was she hiding?
I don't know! What's this whole locked room thing about anyway?
How do you not know? You killed her!
I think the fact that I don't know proves I didn't kill her, thank you very much. You're lying!
No, she's not. I've been saying all along, there's still more to this case.
It's gonna be Ina.
But if Genocide Jill didn't do it, that means Ogre didn't die from the shot to the head.
Of course not. I was pointing at it.
Well, I can't imagine what else could have killed her.
That's because you're overlooking vital information.
Could we really be missing something so important? There's another possible explanation. Maybe it's... Could she kill herself?
What was it that killed Ogre? If it wasn't from Genocide Jill's attack, then what was it?
There's no other possible cause. What killed Sakura? I can't think of anything other than the shot to her.
No, that's wrong.
She always be blood that doesn't come fresh, like a bruised hands.
According to the Monokuma file, Sakura had vomited blood. I think we can assume there's a chance this was related to her cause of death. In fact, there was even a trace of blood left around her mouth.
Well, I mean, maybe when she got hit with the bottles, she cut the inside of her mouth.
If that's all it was, the file wouldn't have specified vomited blood. Not to mention, I didn't find any cuts inside her mouth.
You even checked in there? God, you really are into dead bodies!
No, I'm not into dead bodies. What I'm into is solving mysteries.
But if there wasn't a cut or anything, then what made her vomit blood?
Some sort of reaction within her body. Most likely, Sakura was poisoned.
Yes. Finally, someone said it.
Poison?
Only took 1.5 hours, but someone said it.
That's right. This is the conclusion I've arrived at, and so there can be no mistake.
You're making me go all weak in the knees! She was poisoned? It isn't possible!
Is it really so hard to believe? Then let me explain exactly how the culprit was able to poison her.
You can explain it?
Of course, if you don't mind.
Everyone quiet! Shut up and listen to Master!
But you're the only one talking.
The key to unlocking this mystery was hiding in the chem lab up on the 4th floor.
Huh? Not in the rec room? Then I could have found it all along.
You never would have, since you gave up on the search the moment you were barred from the crime scene.
Well, yeah, good point.
There's a big shelving unit in the chem lab
Good
that
point.
houses a variety of mixtures and chemicals. And that's where I found this.
Is that the poison?
It's not an especially powerful poison, but it'll still kill you if you drink an entire bottle. But the specific properties don't matter. What does matter is where I found it.
Where'd you find it?
The shelf is divided up into 3 sections, A, B, and C. In section A, dietary supplements. In B, reagents. And in C, a variety of lethal chemicals.
Yeah.
And that's where the poison came from? Section C?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Well, of course, in Byakuya just saw that. I'm sure I know where he got it from. It's section A.
I got it! The poison was actually in Section A, wasn't it?
Huh? You just said that Section A was for supplements or whatever.
Strange, isn't it? Why would there be a bottle of poison mixed in with all those nutritional additives?
Yeah, so? Why?
Because the culprit switched it out. That's why.
What do you mean?
I mean, this.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Byakuya put the ball of poison to his lips and
Master!
he was so shocked with what he was seeing. All we could do is stand there and watch. Or as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Byakuya was as calm as ever.
That tastes awful.
Oh no! Master's in real trouble! You have to drink some water! You can't just swallow powder! It'll stick to your throat!
Idiot! He just swallowed poison! We need to make him spit it out!
The flavor certainly makes me want to spit it out. What's so high quality about this stuff?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the protein, of course.
You usually have to like mix it this stuff, don't you?
Protein?
Can I see that bottle for a second?
Oh, sure. Do whatever you like.
You go to the bottle from Byakuya and scare the rid of the contents with one finger. She touched my finger on her tongue.
It's protein powder.
Correct. That wasn't poison in the bottle, but harmless protein powder. Which makes one wonder, the poison that should have been in that bottle, where did it go?
Well, poison that was actually filled with protein powder. The converse of the poison must have been... Could it be? The protein bottle? Yeah, the protein powder. T, the T, and the E. Yeah, we are even high, so we need an N. Green N. Two. Hello. Drink. Was N. Give me an N. Give me a fucking M. Just do it. M. M, please. Please.
Now I understand. The poison must have been poured into the protein can. If the protein's in the poison bottle, it seems only logical to assume the reverse is true, right?
Absolutely. The contents of each container were switched. So the protein was in the bottle of poison, and the poison was in the protein can. Once you accept that, it becomes obvious how the culprit was able to get Sakura to drink the poison.
Holy crap!
All they had to do was hand her something there at the scene, and she was happy to drink the poison herself.
It's gotta be Hina. Something at the scene? A protein drink.
I got it! You're saying they gave her a protein drink, right?
A protein drink which actually contained a deadly poison.
What?
That's all it took to kill Sakura. That is the true cause of death.
You know, I do remember Ogre saying that protein stuff was good for all kinds of aches and pains. So maybe she took it to try and help with the whole bleeding head wound thing.
But what was offered to her instead was a bottle full of poison. And I already know exactly who swapped the mixtures.
For real? Who was it?
Evidence revealing who replaced the two materials was left in the chem lab for anyone to see.
It has to be the footprints. However, she does have things on her foot, so that means she was the one. Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. That's is it the footprints or the actual powder itself?
I got it! Footprints left behind in front of the shelf. That's the evidence you're talking about, isn't it?
I visited the chem lab this morning, and there were definitely no footprints there at that point. They must have appeared around the time of the murder, which leaves no doubt that they're connected. What's more, the footprints were in front of Section A, where I found the bottle meant for the poison. The culprit must have gone to Section A to swap the poison and protein, leaving their footprints behind. And given how clear the prints were, figuring out who they belong to will pose no problem. All we have to do is check everyone's footprints right now. Then we'll see who...
It was me.
Yeah.
The footprints. They're mine.
Hina?
If you're all gonna find out anyway, I'd rather you hear it straight from me, you know?
Then Ogre's killer was...
Yep. I did it. I killed Sakura.
Just as I suspected. The footprints were made by a pair of sneakers. There was no mistaking it. And the only people here who wear sneakers are...
Sneakers aren't the only people wearing sneakers here are Makoto and Hina.
I got it! Me and Hina are the only ones. Oh, so Byakuya. That explains why you...
These footprints must be. Makoto, are they yours? No. Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm the size for myself.
If the footprints didn't belong to Makoto, that left only one other possibility.
Just Hina.
Plus, Hina's been acting strange ever since the trial began. You were in an awful rush to get to the vote, weren't you? This whole time, you've been focused on pinning the crime on someone else, haven't you?
I can't believe it.
What about it can't you believe?
Well, it's just... the two of them were so close.
That's likely exactly why it turned out this way. Because they were so close, Sakura didn't think twice about it when Hina handed her the concoction.
Yeah,
Hina used that trust to kill her.
Makes too much
She
sense.
deceived the victim, and she tried to deceive all of us. I have to say, Hina, coming from you, this was a particularly nasty little scheme.
Yeah, it's
Is
true.
it true? Did you really kill Sakura? And if you did, why? Why would you do that?
I found her. There in the rec room. She was hurt. She asked me to bring her that protein drink. But when I went to get the powder from the chem lab, it just occurred to me all of a sudden.
Now's my chance to kill her. That's what you thought, right? That's when you switched out the protein powder, and that's when you gave her the poisoned mixture.
And then she downed it all at once. And then
Hold it! I'm not convinced.
You're not about to claim she wouldn't kill a close friend, are you?
You still don't get it.
Wait,
The game we're playing here isn't so kind.
two things. Who spilled the powder? And the other is, why was the powder on Sakura's shoes?
Honeyed words like friendship don't
Shit.
matter here. What matters is outwitting the opponent, defeating them. Not a person alive would sacrifice themselves for another. In the end, we're all in it for ourselves. Just like how this girl sacrificed Sakura to save herself.
You say that, but I'm still not convinced.
How many times do you plan to
Come on.
repeat yourself?
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying it because of some misguided sentimentalism. But there's still that one unsolved mystery, and I'm not convinced.
Are you talking about the locked room problem?
Hina, if you really are the killer, explain it. How did you create that locked room?
well, that doesn't matter. Just because I'm guilty, that means I have to tell you everything?
What kind of logic is that? Here's your one chance to be free, for fucking hell, for fuck's sake. Just like, take
No,
it.
it doesn't. But the fact that you won't tell us concerns me.
Surely you're not... Do you honestly think Hina didn't actually kill her?
And if I do?
Impossible. She switched out the mixtures. She's the culprit. There's no way you can doubt this.
Are you sure about that? Even ignoring the fact that I don't want to believe it, it just doesn't fit.
What doesn't fit?
I mean, why would someone leave such a clear clue like a footprint? It's too obvious, too easy.
He's right. It makes it look like you wanted people to suspect you.
That was... I was just nervous. So, I didn't notice I'd left a footprint.
Why are you trying to tell us that you're guilty?
You didn't notice?
Yeah, that's just how it was. What can I do?
Listen, Hina. Could you go into a bit more detail? Tell us more about when you switched the poison and the protein.
How come? That doesn't matter.
Hina, please, I'd like to know too.
Fine.
Waste your time if you like. It's clear that Hina is the culprit. There's nobody else to suspect. Nobody else could have possibly done it.
Go ahead, Hina. Start from the moment you arrived at the chem lab.
I'm intrigued by now. Like, this is probably the most exciting trial so far.
Well, right away I went to Section C and got the poison.
Yes.
And is that when you spilled the powder in front of that part of the shelf?
Yeah. When I opened the bottle, I dropped it like an idiot.
I see. Okay then, go on.
So then I moved to Section A and got the protein powder. And that's where I switched them. Once I was done with that, I took the protein can that had the poison in it and left the room. But I accidentally put the bottle filled with protein powder back on the wrong shelf. And because of that, everything I did got found out. And that's it.
That story you just told. First you went to Section C to get the poison. Then moved to Section A to get the protein, right? Meaning you went from Section C to Section A. Do I have that correct?
Why would she walk out, circle the bits of powder, and then walk back in? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Wait, that's true. Is it a little strange?
Can you repeat that series of events one more time?
God.
What's wrong with you, Big Mac? You're being awfully pushy.
It's the same thing no matter how many times you hear it. How long until you're satisfied?
How long? Until you figure it out. Until I cover the full truth of this case.
First, I went to section C. That's when I grabbed the poison.
Yeah.
And you spilled some of the powder on the ground in front of the shelf.
Yeah. When I grabbed the bottle, I dropped it.
Okay, and then?
I moved from section C to section A. And that's where I switched the powders.
I think that was it.
Once I was done switching them, I put the bottle filled with the protein powder back in section A.
Yeah.
Then I took the bottle with the poison in it and left the... That's all there is.
Honestly, that's enough. How much longer must we tolerate?
Yeah, I think I know what it is.
First I went to... That's when I grabbed the...
And you spilled some of the powder on the ground.
Yeah. When I grabbed the bottle...
Okay, and then?
I moved from
Section C.
You didn't.
It's wrong. You said you went to get the poison from Section C, and that's where you spilled the powder, right?
Yeah? What about it?
And after that, you said you moved from Section C to Section A to get the protein. But the footprints left at the scene were not moving from Section C to Section A. That contradicts what you just said.
Then maybe she moved in some weird direction on purpose to disguise her movements?
No, that can't be it. Remember what Hina just said?
I was just nervous. I didn't notice I left footprints.
What the? Hina, what's the meaning of this?
Well...
You lied to us. Plain and simple. If you look at the footprints, your movements in the chem lab are obvious.
So what the fuck is
The
going
powder
on?
had already been spilled when you came in, and you went straight to Section A. So you never went to Section C. Whatever you did there, it only involved Section A.
Well... You see...
What the hell? What's going on here?
And the footprints aren't the only problem with her account.
What?
Before I explain that part, I'd like to submit some new evidence.
I would like to ask a question. What the fuck?
New evidence? Impossible, there can't be.
Are you sure? After all, you're the one that gave it to me.
I did?
It was hidden inside the bottle of poison you gave me. I'm amazed you, of all people, would miss such a vital clue. A
Oh, no.
truly grave oversight.
Just say it already! What is it you think you found?
I found this.
Huh? A piece of glass.
It had sunk to the bottom of the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And the hidden clue was exposed, thanks to you ingesting the powder. I couldn't have solved the mystery without you. So, thank you for that.
But, what is it?
Oh, you still don't realize? Well then, Makoto, why don't you explain it? Huh?
Me?
I don't know what the fuck happened. Okay.
Fine. If you really do know, explain the meaning of that shard of glass.
But judging from the way he's actually acting, it might be that, like, being afraid of everyone. Shard of light blue glass cable found in a bottle of poison. The rec room window, yeah.
I got it!
Because, like, that's why it
It's
was with the protein
part
bottle.
of the window from the rec room door, right? The window? The window we broke to get in was light blue, just like that. So I think that must be it.
You're right. It must be. Of course, that leads to another question. How did a shard of glass from the window get inside this bottle of poison?
What's so strange about that?
What's strange is that, according to what Hina told us,
Where was the bottle of poison should have been when I broke the actual window? Maybe what Hina told us. It should have been in section C?
Shoot! What's strange is
I don't remember what is actually on the shelf.
I got it!
Sure.
The
Whatever.
bottle of poison was left on the shelf in the chem lab. That is what you said, right, Hina? And yet, somehow a piece of glass from the rec room window made its way into the bottle.
Everything Hina told us was a lie?
In reality, that bottle of poison most definitely found its way to the rec room. It was there at least until the window got broken. In other words, when the locked room was unlocked. There's no other way to explain the presence of that glass in that bottle.
What?
And then, once the room was opened, the bottle somehow got moved back to the shelf in the chem lab.
I saw that all that commentary pretty much boils down to this point, just asking what loudly, because yeah, that's not very entertaining anymore. But what?
Meanwhile, the protein can we found at the crime scene was planted there.
Yeah, sure. That kind of makes sense.
That had to be after the locked room was opened. In other words, after Sakura died.
Wait, hold on. You're moving too fast. I'll grant you, the bottle of poison may well have been in the rec room when it was locked, but how can you say the protein can was put there after the room was unlocked? We already know she was given the protein can with the poison inside,
No,
right?
because the glass was under the wall, so it can't have been there before.
If that can wasn't there when she died, how did she get poisoned?
You're right. We do need to explain that. But before we do, there's something I'd like to confirm with everyone here.
Huh?
It has to do with the protein can.
Go on.
After Sakura's body was discovered, did anyone move it or trip over it or anything like that?
What are you talking about? Is this some kind of loaded question?
Not at all. Just answer to the best of your ability.
Well, no, not that I remember.
Yeah, me either.
Not me.
Same here. Yeah, me either.
Okay then, that settles it. That proves that the protein can found its way to the murder scene after the room was opened.
Oh, come on! How can you say that? How can you know what I don't know?
The reason she can say that is because there's evidence. Let's prove that someone brought the protein can to the rec room after it was opened. Which means it was... What is that protein? Let me just check. Shit. Empty protein thing. Shows a glass ruin. Okay, there's a glass behind that thing.
There's not a doubt in my mind. Until the locked room was unlocked.
Yes.
It absolutely was not in there.
So you're saying someone planted it there after we got the door open?
No. No, that's impossible. It had to have been in there the whole time. It had to be.
It was in there before the rec room was unlocked.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I had to hit the last one. Just need to
When it comes to that, there's not a
cycle
doubt
to
until
everything
then.
else.
It absolutely
Hit this level, last one, right?
Someone plant? No.
So just like, slow
It
down.
had to have been in there the whole time.
Shit.
It had to be. It was in there
Before the rec room was
was unlocked.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong.
Got it.
You remember how there was broken glass scattered all around the room, right?
Of course. It came from the window you broke to get in. What about it?
Well, those pieces weren't just scattered around the protein can. We also found pieces underneath the can.
What?
And this proves it. It shows that the can must have been put down on the floor after the window was broken. So it had to be after we got into the room.
I see. So that's your explanation. Kyoko, earlier when you asked if anyone had moved the can or tripped over it,
If that were the case, that would explain the can being on top of the glass.
So you asked everyone about it to eliminate that possibility right out of the gate.
And that's made everything clear, hasn't it? As long as it was a locked room, it only contained the bottle of poison, and not the protein can. But once the room was opened up, they were switched, and as a result, the protein can wound up in the rec room, and the bottle of poison returned to the chem lab.
If that's all true, then why did Sakura drink the poison?
See, at this point I'm still suspecting suicide.
I thought we all agreed she was tricked into drinking it because of the protein can.
No, that's not why. The only explanation is she drank it from its original bottle, knowing exactly what it was.
Precisely. She was alone in a locked room. All she had was the poison. What other possibility is there?
You're saying she drank it knowing what it was? Such a ridiculous fiction is...
Exactly what happened.
Then tell us already. Sorry. Please, tell us.
Was that restraint you just showed, Byakuya? Holy shit. It's surprising.
Before we get to that, we need to clarify one other thing. We need to establish who exactly got the poison from the chem lab and took it to the rec room.
Sakura.
It was Hina, right? She took it and gave it to Ogre.
What do you think, Makoto?
The one with the poison from rec lab and with the rec room is had to have been Sakura.
I got it! I think it was Sakura herself.
Huh? So Sakura, who was apparently murdered, just poisoned herself?
Apparently.
What are you talking about? There's no way!
On the contrary, we know for a fact she went to the chem lab, right to the section full of poisons.
You're lying! Stop lying! Why? Why would you lie like that?
No, it's no lie. Sakura definitely went to Sector C. I think I hear to admit that. I have her shoes.
You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end already! You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you! You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end already! You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you! You're a liar! I'm telling you, I did it! I hate you!
Do you have any kind of proof Sakura took the poison?
No?
You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end already!
Was it the source of powder?
Do you have any kind of proof Sakura took the poison?
Nope.
This should prove it.
Okay, yellow powder.
Hina, did you know that Sakura's foot had a certain yellow powder stuck to it?
It did?
It did. The same yellow powder that had been spilled by the shelf in the chem lab. That powder was yellow, wasn't it? So the powder we found on Sakura, what else could it be but the powder from the chem lab?
Wait. So, what was that powder doing on Ogre's foot?
And it was only on her instep, right?
Sakura must have been standing right there where the powder was spilled. So the person who spilled the powder by the shelf wasn't Hina, but Sakura. And when Sakura dropped the bottle, she dropped it away from where she was actually standing, which is how she was able to avoid getting it all over herself. But the powder still got scattered around, and some of it must have wound up on her instep. Is there any problem
makes
with
sense.
my thinking?
But why did Sakura pay a visit to Section C in the first place? The only explanation is that she was looking for poison. After all, that's all that section contained.
No! It was me!
It wasn't you.
The point because I killed her!
No, you didn't kill her.
This is the weirdest thing. Well, like it's Sakura. You actually make Sakura and the poison that also mystery of the locked room. There's only one way to explain it.
Here's my answer. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
What? The killer was Sakura?
Wait, so you're saying it was suicide?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it any more than I believe I can fly.
I believe I can fly.
I can't believe it either. Or rather, I don't want to believe it. But when you really think about it, everything matches up. Sakura went and got the poison. She barricaded herself in a room, and she drank it, all so she could end her own life. And that explains why we couldn't solve the mystery of the locked room.
Because of course, Sakura wanted to create the locked room.
I got it! The locked room mystery was created by Sakura.
I'm sure she locked herself in so nobody could stop her from doing what she did. She sat there, drank the poison, and breathed her last breath. And the empty bottle of poison rolled around the locked room until we came and opened it. At that point, someone grabbed the bottle and snuck it out of the room. And that was you, wasn't it, Hina?
I suppose you were trying to cover up Sakura's suicide, I guess.
You did it to throw off the investigation, didn't you? When we found her body, you stayed right there near the door. Because you already knew Sakura was dead. And because the bottle of poison had rolled near the doorway.
That's when you picked up the bottle, right? I was too shocked to notice anything, and Kyoko was busy checking the body.
And the more I think about it, the more I realize how unusual your actions were.
So I have to go with the others. When she collects, he loves action. Yeah. She don't know.
You said you were going to go get everyone else. But your real intention was to go to the chem lab and switch out the containers, wasn't it? Once you were at the chem lab, you headed straight to the section where the protein powder was kept.
Yes.
There, you took the powder and poured it into the bottle of poison you grabbed from the rec room. When you left the lab, all you had was the empty protein can. Thinking about it like that, the footprints make perfect sense.
When you were done, you gathered everyone together. And once you were back in the rec room...
I gotta have them. Yeah, sure.
While everyone else was focused on Sakura, you quietly placed the can on the ground. Honestly, I should have noticed. You should have been the first one to run up to Sakura's lifeless body. The Hina I know never would have left her side in a situation like that.
So, Sakura committed suicide. In order to hide this fact, Hina undertook a series of actions to undermine the investigation. As long as you could disguise the truth, you didn't care if we blamed you for her death. That's why you didn't bother to get rid of such obvious evidence, right? The footprints in the powder and the bottle of poison? Vital pieces of evidence, and yet...
So you're saying Hina consciously deceived us to make it look like she killed Sakura?
Yeah, pretty much.
No! I killed her! I did it!
That's enough, Hina. It's over.
It's not! Nothing's over!
It is! Actually, no. You're right. We have to end this properly.
Sure. Yeah, there's also no phone to be Akuya, which is this one. And I can need some in the locker. Yeah. Okay. So attacked. which one? That's a question. What was this in the Morocco world that Hero hit Sakura with? Was it a knight? What did Hero do to try to cover up the murder he committed? Rose Toko in the magazine. Toko came out. Toko was in the locker. She came out, I guess. No, that's coming out. The other one, which is... I think that's Opera's locker. It's a bit confusing, I think, because similar image. Who the heck? Yeah, she took it, put it back upside down. Okay. What was it the one who allowed the genocide check? It's like it was the king. I don't know, the king, sorry. Alright, so I need to do the... It's this one. There you go. The queen, and then X5. Well, actually, it's gonna give her back in, right? So that means, yeah, she picked it up like that. Here, something on the floor is, yeah, some grabbed. It was the poison ball. Yeah, I guess like that. Obviously, that they switched with the bottle of poison. It was the protein. Yeah. No. So that should be it.
Exactly what happened. This case began when Sakura asked a number of people to meet her in the rec room. Specifically, those people were Hiro, Toko, and Byakuya. But one of them headed out a bit earlier than the others. Toko. She got there one step ahead of everyone else and looked around for a good hiding spot.
So yeah, I switched the... So that's the hiding one. It's veins. Honestly, I think this kind of just bad design. Like, how do you tell which one is which? I guess her facial expression is sort of different, but it's not that different. But she looks more than both of them.
Killer is you! But one of them headed out of... She got there one step ahead.
Okay, gotcha.
And she found him. She crawled into the locker to get out of sight.
Because the other one looked like she was like, you know, closing the door herself like this. While this one was like she was like opening it up, right? Opening it up like this, with the motion of the left hand, kinda.
Then, from inside the locker, she saw Sakura enter the room. Next to arrive was Hiro. When he got there, he mistakenly thought Sakura was going to try to kill him, so he panicked. Without thinking, he grabbed a nearby Monokuma bottle and attacked Sakura with it. Thinking he'd killed her, he hastily began covering up his crime. He
It was
took a
very
magazine
hasty.
from the table and forged a dying message from Sakura. To that end,
Yeah, he wrote down Toko's name.
Toko. By writing her name, he was hoping to pin the murder on her. But of course, Toko had witnessed the whole thing. So as soon as the coast was clear, she jumped out of the locker and hid the magazine on the shelf with all the others. But in her rush, she made one little mistake. She put the magazine back upside down. Soon after, She watched as Sakura slowly opened her eyes. She also saw the blood dripping off Sakura's head and fainted. This caused her personality to switch back over to Genocide Jack. When she woke back up, her second personality also saw the blood-soaked Sakura. And she freaked out.
Interesting.
And just like Hiro, she grabbed another Monokuma bottle and attacked her. This explains why there were 2 wounds on Sakura's head. Assuming Sakura really was dead this time, she set about disposing of the evidence. She gathered up the broken Monokuma bottle shards and the queen chess piece.
Yep. And then she disposed of it.
And that explains how Sakura was attacked twice with the same type of weapon. But even after those 2 blows, she was still alive. So then, what was Sakura's actual cause of death? It was the poison that Sakura herself got from the chem lab. She turned the rec room into a true locked room scenario, and then drank the deadly mixture. And there, she took her final breath. Later on, the rest of us discovered that her body was in there. We had to smash the door's window to get inside. But someone already knew what had happened. Knew that she had committed suicide.
How did she know that?
And that same someone
Here's the question right
quietly
now.
snatched the bottle of poison from off the ground. And while nobody was looking, replaced it with an empty protein can. They did all this specifically to place all the suspicion on themselves, in an attempt to guide the trial to a false conclusion. And the one who went to all that effort was you, Hina.
This is a very dramatic orange image.
That's the full truth of the case.
Not the half, the full truth of the case.
Sakura took her own life, and you claim to be the killer to hide that fact. Isn't that right?
That's what happened? But, Makoto, how did you manage to... How were you able to uncover the truth that even I couldn't discern?
Because I'm a player character. I can do anything.
Huh? Oh, well, I mean...
You still haven't realized? We don't all act according to calculations and cost-benefit diagrams. That's what makes us so complicated. That's what you don't understand. And that's why you couldn't solve this case.
Yeah, take that, I guess.
See, didn't I tell you? When you dismiss other people's feelings, it'll always come back to bite you in the end.
Hey. Straight A. I think that's as good as it can get, right?
Okay. I think we can all agree you made your point.
Sorry, I'm checking something. What's this trial? Yeah, so that's a perfect trial. I just got an achievement for.
Did you guys forget already? You still haven't voted yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You seriously forgot?
Yes.
I can feel my energy draining out of me. Well, whatever. You don't really have a choice anyway. You just gotta do it. Maybe you don't want to, but please grab your lever and cast your vote. So, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it
Either nobody dies, everyone dies. Tough choice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
My entire existence!
We're done here.
What did you say?
So that's the whole truth, huh? I see. I still one thing I don't understand.
Come on.
Yeah, why are you trying to cover up what happened? The truth hadn't come to light, you would have died along with the rest of us.
What are you thinking?
Yet you... Why do you do that?
Don't be mean!
Yeah, we almost died there.
What is this?
Because... That's exactly what I wanted. What? I mean, the reason Sakura died. It's because all of you pushed her into a corner. You all killed her. I didn't. I trusted her. I had to talk to her. So that's why
You should have been the one to die.
I couldn't let her be the only one that died.
What?
You're mean. You're gonna take us all with you? We have to atone for our sins. Because everyone, even me, we all killed her. You'll have to pay for our crimes. Are you serious? That's,
What is this?
You still don't understand? Let me explain. Do you realize just how much despair Sakura was carrying with her when she died? Look at this. Such brutality has made me desperate. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hands. I fight on the ground in front of the rec room. It's Sakura's suicide note. Suicide note? Thinking back, I should have seen it coming. It was right after Genocide Jack had attacked me. Sakura got mad as I stormed out of the nurse's office. I ran after her and... Sakura, calm down. You don't have to worry about me. I'm fine. No, can't calm down. I don't care if I suffer for this. It's my fault after all. But now you're suffering because of me.
No forgiveness!
You try to protect me, but because of me.
I can't forgive this!
My closest friend got hurt. Sakura. Because of me. My friends are going to kill each other. That is all my responsibility. Sakura thought she was responsible. She thought everything was her fault, which is why she wanted to find some way to get everyone to forgive her. So she asked me to meet with them. You asked to meet with those three? You can't. Don't you see how dangerous it is? Don't worry, I just want to talk to them.
But...
Talk about what? Listen, don't do it. If they all gang up on you at once, even you.
Hina.
Please, don't think of things like that. They're not my enemy.
They're friends.
Shit. Sakura. She completely believed. She completely believed in all of us. If you just talked to her, you would have understood. She was a friend to all of you. And yet...
Why?
Yet! You trampled all over her feelings, and then you did the unthinkable. No, that was just a misunderstanding.
What are you saying?
Don't stand there and call it a misunderstanding. She believed in you. You wouldn't even listen to what she had to say. You asked her a single question, you tried to kill her.
I won't forgive you.
Do you have any idea how desperate she was, seeing you act like that? That's what her suicide note means. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hands.
Why?
That's how far you pushed her.
Huh?
So, what happened to you?
Hina.
You came. Wait right here. I'll help you out.
Hina.
Huh?
I'm so glad I got to meet you. What's wrong, Sakura? Why are you talking like that?
I have a favor to ask.
Huh?
A favor?
Some
I'd like...
protein.
Could I ask you to... Yeah, you got it. Just hang on, I'll be right back. That was the last conversation I had with her. I went to the chem lab to get the protein she'd asked for. I got there, I saw the powder, and that's when I realized. I saw that someone had taken something from a poison shelf, Sakura. So I ran back to the rec room as fast as I could, but by the time I got there, it was already too late. Sakura.
Please!
I mean, please open the door.
Why?
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 Why did she have to die? Well, she had weaknesses just like any other person. If she got caught, she bled. If someone hurt her, she felt it. That's weakness. That's normal. And yet,
Why?
you all blamed her. I tried to protect her and I suffered for it, and that just added to the weight she had to carry. I didn't even realize it. We killed her. All of us. We pushed her into a corner, and we murdered her.
Why?
People like us shouldn't be allowed to leave. And that's why you tried to lead us astray. You did your best to make us arrive at the wrong conclusion during the class trial. Sakura died hating all of us. I wanted to free her of her regrets. But even that got found out. In the end, I wasn't able to do anything for her. I could never face her after this.
Hey!
I'm sorry to interrupt you right when you're about to do the final checker, but
Hey!
it's just taking so long. I had to fall asleep over here. I mean, do you really think you have any idea what Sakura was actually thinking when she died?
What is this?
What did you say? Everything you just said is nothing but your interpretation, right? No opinion on what her suicidal meant.
What are you saying?
I don't know what she was thinking concerning me.
In other words...
Well, what I'm really trying to say is...
Yes, indeed!
Do you think the entire foundation is shaky? What if it really was like this?
What the heck?
What is that?
Of course!
Is it obvious?
Yep.
A suicide note? Sakura's suicide note. What? What? He already...
Too bad!
Well, I wrote that one. It was all me, baby.
It's true!
This is the one Sakura addressed to Hina and put it in her room.
Huh?
What? Then... You lied to me?
Unbelievable.
No, that's a lie. It makes it sound so dirty. I just thought I'd liven things up a bit.
Well now,
I can't happy if you totally took my little scribbles at face value. I didn't believe you have Sakura's signature on it. You filthy little... I'm not filthy. I didn't do anything. Did I falsify evidence? Did I find it out for the class trial? The case played out between you and your alone. You were the ones jerking each other around. Heck, even if the will had factored in, it still would have been between you guys. So, what's the problem? This is all part of the production process. Okay, and scene. Cut.
And?
So then, what did she write in her suicide note?
What are you gonna do?
I'm glad you asked. For your benefit, I shall be using my melodic, angelic, harmonic narrator voice.
Hey!
But, haven't you ever been curious about the whole suicide note thing? Who came up with the idea of leaving open your yourself in the first place?
But hold on.
I need a drink, sorry. My voice coming late. Isn't it just so unfortunate? Killing yourself is just so final, You can never hear the rest of that story. Truth is lost in darkness. Gives me the willies.
Enough already.
Can you get it over with, please?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, jeez. Talk about your boss skill. Right, here we go. My good friend Hina, there's something I have to tell you. I hate to do it like this, but you need to know. This is my final wish.
As you know, I've been giving information to the one who's imprisoned you here.
It was our first night in a strange school that the mastermind came to see me.
You see, the mastermind took control of my family's dojo and demanded I become their tool.
Sorry. You might not see the importance of a dojo, but my family has watched over it for 300 years. Come on, Blue Tech, come on, just fall off. Any minute now. Go on, just do it. Yeah, okay, that's fine as well.
I couldn't let it be destroyed under my watch, so even if it meant my own life, I had to protect it.
There you go.
That's how I saw things.
However, that was my greatest weakness. And because of that, I made the mistake of giving in to the mastermind.
And what the mastermind wanted from me was nothing less than murder.
They probably weren't there right then until the first murder had happened. Nothing will move forward. And what neither the mastermind nor I expected was the incident involving Sayaka. At that point, the plan changed. The mastermind told me to hold off, to wait until we reached another stalemate.
However, as I lived here with all of you, as I lived here with Hina, my resolve began to weaken.
Watching everyone fight with such despair, trying so desperately to stay alive, I saw the weakness in my own heart, the mistake of succumbing to the mastermind. And more than anything,
I cannot betray those who would call me their friend.
That's how I came to feel. So that's why Sakura.
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Of course, because of that, I decided to reveal her secret, which made everyone else hate her. Her decision to stay true to all of you led directly to all of you hating her for it. Ironic, isn't it? Or maybe oxymoronic? Or just moronic?
Of course, I understand if you all hate me. All of this is because of my own weakness.
I'm perfectly willing to accept whatever attack you may want to make on me.
So this is my atonement for betraying you. That's what I had in mind.
And unfortunately, that's not enough. This won't end with just me accepting your hatred.
My own situation has started having an effect on more people than just me. Which is exactly what the mastermind wanted when they revealed my betrayal.
A betrayal brought suspicion, disharmony. The mastermind knew that eventually it would escalate into someone murdering someone else.
Of course, I'm still responsible for that as well.
I have an obligation to get the situation under control. And to fulfill that obligation, I decided to do as the mastermind has commanded. I will do as I was told and commit murder.
But I've decided the one I'm going to kill is myself.
If the mastermind demands that I kill someone, then that someone will be me. Then my dojo will be safe, and above all else, none of you will have to kill anyone. When I die, the source of conflict among you all dies with me. For that, I'm willing to give up my life.
If it can save you, then sacrificing my own life could have no greater meaning. Whatever you think of me, please know that you are all my most treasured friends.
Oh. I've never had people like you in my life.
Huh?
And Sakura, did you feel cornered? She didn't die hating us?
No way!
She wanted to stop us from fighting, to protect us.
Correct.
She didn't end her own life because she was weak. Quite the opposite, in fact. She was strong. Too strong. That's why she killed herself. She chose death for herself in order to protect the rest of us. To sacrifice so much. But no normal person could do that.
However,
It was only her limitless strength that made it possible.
Finally, Hina, I want to apologize to you especially.
The reason I didn't tell you any of this is because I knew you would try to stop me. I'm really, truly sorry, but please don't be sad. If I can thwart the mastermind's plans, if I can keep you from killing each other, that's enough for me. That is the path that I have chosen. This is the only way I have left to distinguish myself. And you can use this to bring the class trial to your weekend. I'm so sorry to ask you to do something so unpleasant, but I have to leave the rest of you. Please don't be angry after going here on my behalf. I can't tell anyone about my plan while I'm alive, but I wanted you to understand why I'm doing this. In the end though, I hope to show myself through actions, not words. Hopefully, then they'll see.
I never saw you as my enemy. You were only ever my friend, who I wanted to help as much as possible. Hina, whatever it takes, survive. Survive along with everyone else. No matter what, just survive.
But...
This is... I didn't understand how she felt, not at all. I thought we were close and still.
What are you gonna do?
But in the end, all her meddling was like totally pointless.
Uh-oh.
She died so you guys couldn't try to kill each other, but you almost ended up doing it anyway. Thanks to you, her death had no purpose at all. In fact, it was because of her stupid meddling that the rest of you nearly beat the big one.
Too bad.
She deserves all blame. Even everyone blame her. Go ahead, she deserves it. Now, the next victim has to be decided. What do you mean next victim? Nobody here blames anyone. Huh? First of all, you're in the wrong for tricking Hina with that fake suicide note. And plus, Sakura's death was a waste.
Say what?
Because she made us remember. We're not enemies that hate each other. We're friends who need to work together.
You know?
Damn straight. This is all because of our misplaced hatred.
Well?
I didn't blame her. I can't blame her. And nobody can blame Hina either. Whether or not there was a spy never really mattered, because the one we need to destroy is you. Nobody else.
What? What do you want?
What the heck? That's not how this is supposed to go. But anyway, are you sure about that? This killing game is a competition between all of you, remember?
Hey!
Your enemy is each other. He's absolutely right about that. Ah, lovely Byakuya. You understand, don't you? This is a life or death elimination match. The only way to survive is to win. There can be no doubt that those are the rules of the game. Which is why I am bowling out of the game. What?
Naturally.
Sakura and Hina were both willing to sacrifice their own lives to deny the reality of the game. Thanks to them, it would appear that the others have cast aside their fear of this game.
Don't make me repeat
There's no point in participating in a game which has lost that sense of excitement. Which is why I will no longer be participating in it. What's going on here? Now, I have only one thing to look forward to.
It's all clear.
And that is to heap the harshest possible punishment on the one who thinks they can control me. Does this mean... Don't misunderstand. I haven't been moved by some thoughtless sentimentalism, if that's what you're thinking. Where the master will I go? If the master might turn out to be a guy, maybe I can catch on fire. Everyone?
Hey.
Well, now can you say Sakura's not having a league? How boring. Well, nothing will come of this. I'm still gonna be the one having the fun time.
What the heck?
The fun time? Anyway, let's forget about the good for nothing backstabber and get back on track.
You want me to punish you guys?
It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Punishment time! Wait, what? Sakura was having a healer, right? And she's dead. You're not gonna... Is it me?
Wrong!
Oh heavens, no. Just because the black is dead doesn't mean I can tell me whatever or story I want. I'll tell you, I'm very particular about the bad times one rule.
Listen up!
Well, I spent so much time preparing my special punishment, it'd be a shame to let it go to waste. So, for my special punishment, I've prepared a special guest. A special guest?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Oh no. Is it gonna be Chihiro? Yes. Shit. Fuck. Fuck. You suck, man. You taught me to make that humble chunk. You, that way to get out of me. You think you're a plate of chicken. After all, they say for post-worker grub, chicken is where it's at. And I'm all about the great goodness. Right? Roy, give me a break. The color, the smell, the succulence, clearly is where it's at. I realize how dangerous it could be, but still, I have to do this. I'm scared, but I can handle it. I don't really understand why, but when I think about everyone else, my courage starts to grow. You might think I'm just some inhuman here, but it's true. So, it's okay. If it's for the sake of everyone else, I won't be afraid. Alter Ego's words raced to my heart and soul, and my disbelief gave way to raw anger. The anger turned to fury, black and muddy and boiling over. It bubbled up through my body, quickly overflowing and shooting out of my mouth. How dare you? That was my friend! How dare you kill him?
What's the matter?
Huh? You were friends with a laptop? That's pretty pathetic. What's next? Practice a basketball? Shut the hell up. It was just a laptop, it was my friend. And you killed him. Is that what you call animism? My soul advances in all things, even like laptops? Oh, you can call it whatever you want. Don't lie, it got in my way. It was trying to do anything out all sneaky.
Just as I thought.
So, you finally noticed him.
Actually...
Finally? No, I knew about it from the very beginning. I'm sure he was doing something with the laptop, and I knew you were using it to analyze data. I knew exactly how it was all gonna play out for a start. What?
What are you thinking?
You knew, and you were still cocky enough to let us take the plunge.
Yep.
Well, I mean, the data in that laptop, it was... I guess you were quite a gift from me to you? Or maybe more like a reward in honor of you being able to unlock something so difficult?
Hey,
So of course I didn't care if you got access to that. But sticking to network was just too personal, so I had to do a little, reformatting.
I want to be able to help.
I want to keep being helpful to everyone. I want to work as hard as everyone else so that we can all get out of here. Alter Ego wanted to fight for us. He wanted to help, at the risk of his own life. But he was killed. Yeah, the punishment time has made me feel a billion times better.
Very nice.
Experience and meaningless, that is so soothing. It makes me remember that every low can be even lower. No, his death wasn't meaningless either. Everybody who's died so far, the rest of each and every one of our friends, they will make us stronger. I swear to God, someday you will pay for this. Holy moly, you're super mad, like, just unreasonably upset.
Well?
Okay, time to bring the things to a close. Oh, but before that, I need to read the postscript.
What?
Postscript?
Yep.
Yeah, there's still a bit more left to Sakura's notes.
Huh?
Did I have your attention? Okay, then here we go.
Hello.
Prepare your ears for the do's and don'ts of yours truly. One other thing, Hina. There's something I'd like you to tell the others. Hopefully, if you like as a clue to help you unravel the mystery of this school. What? A clue?
Hina.
I've spoken with the mastermind off and on the whole time I've been here, and so I've learned one thing, which is the mastermind has done something to us. I think what they've done is... Oops, Daisy, that was a close one. Another word, and we would have been hip deep in spoiler territory.
Too bad.
Okay, I don't want to ruin the surprise, so book club is dismissed for today. Well, you can't just stop at the most important bit. It makes your brain rumble and tumble, huh? It makes you so mad you don't even freaking know, huh?
You guys?
That's the whole point, stupid. It's to get back and only feel for hardening your resolve. Fine, or at least Sakura's note. I can never let any of you peaceballs have it. What?
Too bad.
Sucks for you, loser. Wait, what's this?
What?
What is it now?
What?
That's one last hiding note. And let me just say this to the mastermind. I'm not going to just stay down and die. I will fight you, you bastard, no matter what. And that's seriously it. Wow, what a stubborn loser, huh? She won't lay down and die, she'll fight you? Well, whatever. Who cares what some muscle has to say?
Well?
Okay, I'm away. You guys should try to get some rest, you know? Maybe take some time to reconsider how you approach this school life of yours. Are you sure you don't want to graduate? Can you only cut free from the regrets of the outside world? Think about that. Think long, think hard. Those were his parting words to us before disappearing. What was all that about? Sakura's final message, a last clue to help us solve the mystery of the school. The mastermind did something to us. Kyoko said something like that before, didn't she? Well, after the last trial was over.
You...
What did you do? What did you do to my body?
Who?
What?
Hey.
Answer me. What did you do to my body? Did he clone us? Is everyone a clone here? The mastermind did something to our bodies. What are they saying the mastermind did? What did the mastermind do to us? I mean, did the mastermind plant a bomb in us or something? If we try to leave the school sensor goes off, and the bomb explodes? I've seen stuff like that in movies and comics and stuff, so it's not totally unheard of. No, I feel helpful just thinking about it. I can't afford to acknowledge thoughts like that.
Yo!
So the class trial is over and Monokuma's gone.
But...
So now what do we do?
Yes.
What else is there other than to head back up? Oh yeah, okay, let's get out of here. But Hina must still feel like responsible. Dial back that evil little girl. The kind of mystery someone like you could pose is absolutely no threat.
Not possible.
I would never have lost that kind of challenge. What are you talking about? Kyoko and Makoto once they figured everything out.
Stop talking.
Shut up. Seriously, I'm sorry. How many times do you plan to apologize? How about you made it last time? They made it the last one. I haven't reached the point where I need someone apologizing to me more than once.
Sorry.
Okay, I see what you mean. Then I'll try. Huh? That totally wasn't normal, right? Did you just capture his flag?
No, 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 no!
I can't suffer the existence of someone who still don't want to be a master.
Huh?
What are you talking about? That's absolutely not what's happening here. Why would they ever go for a sleazeball like him?
What did you say?
Sleazeball?
What the heck?
That's right, I called you a sleazeball, because you are a sleazeball.
I see.
But apparently you still have that wish. Oh, more biting sarcasm. No wonder you don't have any friends.
No, 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 no!
Hey, stop fighting, Master. You're making me jealous. I want to have you give and take me. I guess it's not easy for everyone to act like friends. Well, let's just hide this for now. Well then. And so Sakura's class trial came to an end, and we returned to the world of Hope Speak Academy. But the story wasn't even close to over. Time kept marching on. We all went back to our rooms, and before long, night snuck up on us.
As such, soon the... Okay then.
Nighttime descended, and pulled me down along with it, down to sleep. I couldn't remember the last time I'd fallen into such deep sleep. But the night still wasn't over for me. A voice. I could hear a voice. Well... Oh, sorry. Wake up. Alan, wake up. The voice dragged me from my deep slumber into hazy half-consciousness. My eyelids were like lead.
Kyoko?
Yes, it's me.
Huh?
Kyoko?
Kyoko?
I said yes.
So Kyoko's here.
Yes, we've confirmed that.
Wait, what?
In a flash, I was wide awake. What are you doing here?
It's true.
I'm here to wake you up. Oh, I see. Wait, what my door? It was unlocked. You're unbelievably careless. It was unlocked? Are you serious?
Hey.
Always. And you don't have to overreact like that every time you're surprised. What time is it?
Correct.
3 o'clock. In the morning, of course. It's 3 AM? Why was Kyoko waking me up at this hour? Why was Kyoko waking me up at this hour? And this is what I'm calling it, because I'm tired. You know, first, like, original plan to, like, go on until, I don't know, for an hour or so. I've been going for 2 hours, 45 minutes, so yeah, Oh, at least I got the question on, I guess. I did just save, right? Oh, game. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Okay. I'll probably be back on Thursday? Not sure yet. I know I'm skipping tomorrow because I have other things to do. But yeah, I think I'll be back Thursday, 9 PM. Like British time. So, yeah, if all 2 people watching this are interested, come by and just watch, I guess. So, bye.